Yes, Rascal and Disco beer review with me, Disco in front of the cans and bowls here on the bar. I'm still mildly calling the Disco Arms. Welcome along and happy damn Thursday night. Yes. Once again, two shows, 2 days in a row. That won't happen every week probably, but managing to get some weekly shows together. Today's show is number 9. It's definitely a Bash the Stash show because I've had some of these beers in the stash, if you've seen the thumbnail. It's called Disco Goes Mild in May. To note, the nominal thing of mild month of May. Camra like to put out talking about mild beers, trying to promote mild beers. It's a kind of gimmick. It's a kind of, everybody loves a little bit of alliteration, don't they? So mild in May it is. I happen to have a couple of milds in. Well, I had a few milds in because I started the month with the 5 mild beers from Boxcar, and I had a couple of others in. I picked another one up over the weekend, so I've got a show together. Don't know what I'm going to say, but welcome along. Thanks to everybody for popping in, and especially if you're watching after the event. Keep going. Luke John, mild in May, a bit like the weather. Well, it's been pretty good here today, kind of warm, but just a little bit rainy on and off. Disco Arms is indeed open. About the business side of things, talking of dodgy business. Winners, beer reviews, Thomas. You sexy person yourself. Good evening. Welcome along. Thanks for popping in, sir. Dave Wilson, top stuff. Greetings to ya. So, once again, without further ado, I'm going to get the first one into the glass because I've got 3 beers and they're all 500ml beers. So, got more to drink, lesser ABV. Still trying to keep it down to the hour if I can, save taking up too much of your time. But as you know, I love a beer as much as you do. So, getting out the big chunky pint glasses for this one. And this marble from Manchester. Big, creamy, foamy, quite big bubbles though, but creamy underneath. Into the pint glass. There's a discussion to be had there. Which way does the can go? I'm never really sure about the whole printing vertically. I much prefer it in there, but at least they've got kind of all the relevant. Well, it's not even quite on the front there because that's the front. So I prefer the brewery. Maybe a picture or a logo, maybe the artwork for the can picture, and then the beer style down the bottom here, and the percentage. That's just me. So when they start doing it upright, it's a bit difficult for the photograph. Photograph, there we go. So anyway, it's a bit lighter. I might be able to do it over this side today, because yesterday, starting a bit later, it's much darker. That was mostly because of the weather. And today, there's some good light streaming through the window at the Disco Arms. Yes, indeed. You do spot a 2 Tribes t-shirt. In fact, 2 of them. I liked them so much. I went back for the second one. I think the green one was first. And so let's start on the photograph. As I disappear around this side, I've got to work it out so that I can get the background in. By not disappearing would be handy, wouldn't it? But at least you can vaguely see what I'm doing. I really don't like that can wrap for photography purposes. But also, I'm not a big fan of putting it on top of the glass. I don't know, like that. Does that make any? Is that better? Can't actually see anymore. That's going to roll off, isn't it? Yeah, don't know. What do we think? Is it better? Is it better that way? Or for photography purposes, is it better that way? I mean, that's what it comes out like. So I'll either use that one or the upright one. I think I prefer the upright one, even though you can't quite read it properly. Good can, though. Nice colour. Lovely little wording on there. Born to be mild. If anybody remembers a way back, I think it was show 1, wasn't it? It was part 1. with Bramwell, I did the Marble Brewery Earl Grey IPA. And we had a little discussion about what they put on their cans. This one says marble canned beer produced to Giovanni standards. Now, even Bramwell wasn't entirely sure what that meant. And on the Earl Grey IPA, it was something entirely different. There's another marble one, actually. That one doesn't have it on, funnily enough. Can't find the Earl Grey IPA. Yeah. So I think that's because it's the special can, the like one-offs, whereas the more regular core beer stuff does seem to have that. And I think it was something like Henson's standards, but I had a little Google, and I couldn't find what it means. I don't know. They obviously, maybe it's like some kind of little in joke or something. But there we go. Let's put it around that way. T-shape looks good. It's different. Yeah, that's cool. The fact it wasn't a full glass, I might do it like that, whether you put it on there, but I think that looks equally. Well, that doesn't work because it's upside down. Slightly wanky. But there we go. Anyway, before that head dissipates too much, because it is bubbling away down there. I mean, it's bubbly and it's getting away, but there it is. Anyway, cheers. Yeah, nice pint of mild. Looks nice and dark in the glass. Good old tribute glass. Yeah, looks nice and dark. Not a lot of light bleeding through or anything like that. Not too strong on the aroma from here. Oh no, there we go. There's that dark malt. Black malt, I'm thinking. It's not chocolate. There's no real chocolate notes to it. Smells like a good dark beer. 4.1%, I believe. Yeah, 4.1%. So, fairly light, fairly sessionable. Let's get into it. Cheers, all. Oh. Well, that didn't save. I definitely pre-prepared that, but it doesn't seem to have saved. Technical issues, as always, with a Rasco and Disco show. Oh, brewery. Not that the banners are important, but, you know, I like to put these things in for a little bit of extra interest. So for you guys to look at rather than just listen to me waffling on, if nothing else. So there we go. Beer number one. Beer number one. Marble Brewery's 4.1% marble mild. Born to be mild. I'll tell you what. It's good. And I was having a look around at some stuff earlier about this, and I didn't realise about it. I'm definitely fairly certain I've had this before somewhere. I'm sure it's been at a festival or something like that. And do you know what? There's a little hop content there that I'm a bit surprised about. It's going slightly towards like a black IPA. Some people might be fine with that. I personally am not. Mainly because black IPAs, guess what I'm going to say, tend to be a bit hoppy grapefruity, and I don't think the dark malts go with the hoppy grapefruitiness, and that is a little hoppy. It's not terrible. It's not. Oh, I'll put that magnifying glass away. For God's sake. Here we go again. I can't believe I put it away last night. Let's have a look, see if we can get any hop notes on it. Okay, well, no, it says on here, 8 different malts were used to create this balanced, mild. Hints of caramel and chocolate are layered in this modern interpretation of a classic British style. A rich, dark colour with a dry finish. Well, I guess that's kind of where I'm talking about with the hop note, because that beer yesterday, the gin and tonic IPA, had a definite, kind of grapefruity finish to it. Definitely drying finish off of grapefruit notes. Incredible work. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Cheers. No, that's funny that David Wilson had this one attack, gave it 3.5 out of 5. Now I don't do scoring, as you know, because it's impossible to compare everything. It's just what you go with at the time, and however you do the scoring is fine. But I can see 3.5 out of 5. That's not, I mean, it's not a terrible score. It's kind of mid-range, and I'm a little surprised about this beer. I thought this was going to be much more balanced. I don't think there is so much balance between the darker malts, although you can taste them, and that kind of slightly earthy hop note to it. What does anybody else reckon? 3 out of 5, middle of the road. Well, yeah, exactly. I should do some marble arts. That's what I should have lined up. A little marble race. Have you seen that marble race? And that was quite a big over lockdown. You get all those either ones in the sand or like down across like drain pipes and stuff. That's something to have with a beer. You can have a few bets and a few drinking games on that. How I wish I thought of that now, and I can't actually find the thing I did have lined up to share. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so what I was so this is what I was looking at with like off the old Camra website, talking about the milds. It says there on the right, dark and mellow with light roast malt or caramel. Definitely some good sweetness later on. Almost a honey kind of sweetness rather than caramel in this one. But yeah, Camra say to help revive the mild beer style, Camra Punches encourage local pubs to have at least one mild on the hand pumps during the month of May. No hand pumps here, so I've gone with cans and bottles. Mild is a beer style which developed in the late 18th and 19th century as drinkers started to demand a slightly sweeter and less aggressively hopped beer than porter. Yeah, you don't expect porter to be particularly hopped. Less aggressively hopped beer than porter. I wouldn't say porter was a particularly hoppy beer. Certainly not a modern British style porter. It's more about the biscuity notes and the chocolate, a bit of coffee for me in porter. So I don't think, unless it's an American porter, which I can understand might be hoppier. Early miles were much stronger than modern versions, which tend to fall into the 3 to 3.5% category, though a number of brewers are bringing strength back into style. Mild is usually dark brown in colour due to the use of well-roasted malts or roasted barley. Look for a rich malty aroma and flavour with hints of dark fruit, chocolate, coffee and caramel, and a gentle underpinning of hop bitterness. Well, if this was a 5 out of 5, it would be marvellous. Nice one, Luke. I love it. I love it. What I'm not loving so much, particularly, I'm quite surprised about this. Obviously, had loads of marble beers on and off, but not for a while. Because it's really light. It's not particularly thin. It's got that kind of maltiness that gives it like a slightly thicker body. It's only 4%, 4.1. But yeah, I'm surprised by the hop note on that. I always thought milds were less hoppy. Maybe I haven't as much mild as I thought. Yeah, okay. Well, all right. Hopefully I'm not wrong in that case. Yeah, there's definitely, it's going towards a little bit of like dry kind of grapefruity kind of note. I'd love to know what the hops are. Definitely doesn't say, which is a shame and also annoys me. I just want to know these things. Also imported to Italy. I suppose it's not a surprise. They do love some kind of darker beers in Italy. Oh, maybe that's the Giovanni thing. That's where the Italian connection comes in, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, well, to be fair, because it's only 4%, and I've been waffling away for 20 minutes, maybe it'll be quite short. A little bit surprised by that. I want a bit more maltiness, a bit more chocolate, a bit more coffee, a bit more bourbon biscuits on it. That's what I always say about porters. So I'm confusing myself now. I don't quite know where milds and porters, where the lines diverge. There's a certain amount of overlap. I like that. I like that again. I just liked it so much I'm putting it up a second time. I'm going to keep that up there for a little bit. Good lacing on the glass. It's looking all right. Yeah. I'd probably put that around about 3 for personal taste. I mean, it's a 5 out of 5 beer for like being well made, etc. I don't think it's particularly balanced or as balanced as they claim, but again, that's quite subjective and personal. I'm picking up the hoppier notes more than I'm picking up the kind of darker malt notes. I think the aroma was black malt. I smelled some of that last week, and I should remember what. Anyway, cheers all. That one went down pretty quickly, pretty swiftly. Must have been thirsty. It was all right. I'd like to see what happens to it out in the wild. Maybe. I mean, it's only been sitting in the stash a month or so, so it's fairly fresh and that. I think I would try it out in the wild if I saw it on tap somewhere, just to have another go. Well, I'm struggling today, but we seem to be struggling for the jokes. I've got a new job in the Federal Air Marble Service. Captain Marble. There we go. Well, it's one of those days. What's everybody got lined up for the weekend? Some beers to be had out and about anywhere? I ask because it's for me, it's just back up the brewery again, setting up for an event on Saturday. So I'll be out there tomorrow doing that. And then, yeah, on the bar Saturday and Sunday. Well, let's get into the next one. I feel not deflated by that, but I was hoping it would be much better than that. But for beer number 2. Oh no, it's not your fault. You don't need to apologise, Luke. You're doing fine. Holding up your end in the chat. It's me struggling with the waffle today. Bit of a blocked up nose again. Right, let's move on to beer number 2 straight away. No messing about. Staying in the Manchester area. and you've probably seen from the thumbnail, a brewery called Brightside Brewing Company. This one is their beer called Umbra, and it is a straight 4% dark mild. So I'm hoping, again, you shouldn't judge these things, but I'm hoping for something slightly hoppier, slightly less hoppy, something maltier. Especially as I enjoyed those darker milds from Boxcar earlier in the month. Got my trusty bottle opener, plain black cap on the bottle. Now this bottle has been in my stash for a little bit too long, arguably. Can't see the date on the side. Kind of think it deserves a dimple mug, because that's what I think milds probably, at least traditionally, or should be drunk out of. Don't use this one very often, certainly with like your craft beers. I prefer a much straighter glass. I have given that a slightly too aggressive pour. Talking of fantastic jokes and terrible ones, Slurpy Dave popping in from the Island Man. Thank you very much indeed for popping in. Cheers to you, sir. Thought this might be your kind of show, maybe. You do love a good mild. I believe I've got a couple over on the island. I did see a mild, not from you, but from somebody on the island just this afternoon. Well, there we go. Funny you should say that, because I haven't just slurped that marble mild in, under 20 minutes while I was waffling away. I was less than impressed, I have to say. I'm sure I've had it and it's been better. I don't know, like I said, it's been sitting around in my stash for a month or two. Still pours out perfectly well. This one I got in last year. I've not seen anybody else talk about Brightside Brewing. I only talked about them because I saw last year, so before last summer, again out of Manchester, they had a beer called Disco Shift. So I got a few of their beers in. I think it's Manchester. Have I got that wrong again? Let me check. Yep, no, Radcliffe in Manchester, M26. Yeah, straight 4%. Let's see what they've got to say whilst I've got the glass out. Fun fact, Umbra is the area of total shadow caused by the moon blocking out the sun's light during a total eclipse. Quite an apt name for a dark mild, we thought. This dark mild is true to type, being moderate in most aspects of its character. Okay, you'll find it an easy drinking, medium-bodied beer with a subtle influence from hops and toasty, grainy malt flavours. It finishes clean with gentle bitterness, enough to balance the delicately sweet malts, but far from being heavy-handed. Gluten-free, etc. So they're still talking about a certain amount of bitterness. Bitterness doesn't have to mean hoppiness, of course. Thank you very much indeed, Luke. Good stuff, because we are on to beer 2. Let's go on to beer number 2, please. Beer number 2, please. It's all going off today, isn't it? It's just nothing really working today at all for me. But there we go. And for those not watching previously, going to try and work out how to do the photo whilst I think about it. See Slurpy Dave. I thought, if anybody you might know, because it's up your way in your manner. Brightside been going a while now, yep. Their beers usually on a trackside pub in Bury. I've only been to trackside in Bury twice. I think, did we play Bury twice? Or at least one. We always go there. Yes, I've been to Bury twice, only once for the football. If I remember rightly, I had creme brulee the last time I was there. It's a fantastic little beer from Beartown. So yeah, I haven't seen them in trackside, but I do know the pub on the station at East Lakes Railway. Good pies as well. Right, yeah, so I like to do the photograph. Sorry for anybody who's not wonders what on earth I'm doing, wandering out of shot like this. Somewhat easier to photograph, even though it's gone for the vertical on the bottle. And there's no percentage information, but that'll do, won't it? It's not too bad. I don't know if you've seen on Instagram, I've been putting all yesterday's ones up today. It took me ages to go back and check and try and remember the beers as to what I'd actually drunk yesterday. I knew it roughly, but I kind of wanted to get it right. So for once, I was looking back on the stream and seeing what I was waffling on about yesterday. And I'll try and do the same tomorrow. I might have to bung them all up at lunchtime. So I'm at the brewery tomorrow. Buddy Biggs, good evening, sir. What is going on here today is we are waffling, or I'm waffling, and these fine people are helping me get some information out about mild beers. As you can see, this one, Umbra from Brightside Brewing in Manchester, another deeply, deliciously dark, almost way past brown with a nice, fairly bubbly, definitely very creamy head. I can't tip the glass towards you because it's over my laptop. As I say, before I put it in a good traditional style dimple glass, don't get this one out very often, but see what I can get with me semi-blocked up hooter. No, pretty much the same as the previous one, but the those dark malts coming through again. Probably a bit of black malt, I think, there. Anyway, let's get this one down. 4% on the nose, and on the nose, it smells pretty good as it should. Let's see what it goes down the throat like. Cheers. There we go. That's a bit more what I'm expecting. Quite light on the palate. Definitely those darker malty notes. I can still probably taste the hoppiness from the marble, to be fair, but there's definitely much less on the hops on the palate there. Much smoother, much creamier. Much more interesting. Interesting, that's the wrong word. Much more balanced was the word I was looking for. Still plenty to find and go back for. Slightly abrasive. I would say it's less sweet than the marble. This is what we come to expect from Soapy Dave. I had some terrible jokes. I asked a girl at disco if she would like to dance. She said yes. I said, great, can I have your chair then? That is terrible, but don't worry. They do get better, don't they? I think they do. Not a joke, but a straight observational fact. Buddy, cheers. I have one of those dimpled mugs, pretty much the same thing. Holds a 20-ounce English pint. Yes, it's a pint glass. Very few of us here will know what 20 ounces looks or is indeed like, but I'm guessing it's that. These are slightly less than the British pint, which allows, I guess, for the head in a British pint glass. These are 500ml bottles. Sometimes they say the ounces on here. No, starts going on about units. That's terrible. Thank you, Luke. Keep going. We'll get a good one at some point. Mersey, hey. And man, I believe enjoys a good pint of mild here and there. How did you find the Marble Mild? It was there on Marble's website, so I added it to the cart and paid for it and bought it and got it sent here. That's how I found it. The best mild in a bottle can I've had recently was Artifact Brewing's Amplified Dark Mild. Sounds good, Amplified. You know, I've been finding new breweries all week popping up on the socials, etc. And Amplified is wild. So Artifact Brewing is not one I've heard of, to be fair. So that's another one to look out for, see what they've got. But yeah, the Marble Mersey, I don't think I know as much about mild beers as I remember. I certainly haven't had a mild for a while. And I was really looking forward to that Marble. And yeah, maybe it's my palate, but a little too much on the hop for me, for my liking. It was heading towards a black IPA. Much more balanced malt profile than a black IPA, but much more biscuity kind of malts than a black IPA. But yeah, a little bit too much on the hops. I really don't remember milds being hoppy. I thought they were just about the dark malts and the balance between like the sort of more chocolate dark malt bitterness rather than hop bitterness. It's one bright side out of Manchester. Have a probably more traditional outlook on beer, predominantly 500ml bottles, but they have got cans as well. They also had, I'm not sure, a kind of can range that comes under a different name, Wild Side beers, something like that. Had quite a decent peanut butter porter, sorry, chocolate and nut porter, Millionaire Shortbread porter from them in cans. Picked them up on a good deal. See, there we go. I don't remember Marble Mard being hoppy on cask. I've got another can, so I'll have another look at it. Not now, obviously, but yeah, I'll have another look. For me, there was just that kind of, I don't know. I mean, I thought I cleansed the palate with water before I started. Artifact Brewing are in Bury St Edmunds. Okay. Beautiful beers, have loads of their stuff. Wow. I mean, I guess being in Bury St Edmunds, they're kind of shadowed in a couple of other breweries, aren't they? But I'll have a look out for that. I went to Lord of the Rings disco. It was Mordor on the dance floor. Never seen Lord of the Rings, but I do vaguely get the reference there. Brightside Brewing, possibly the 10th best brewery in Manchester. Well, I suppose, yes, if you put all the craft stuff together behind, I suppose, Track, Cloudwater, even down to probably like the Seven Brothers and stuff. I like the range that Brightside had on their website. I haven't looked for a while. Like I said, I only went to them because they had a beer with disco in the name last summer. So I picked that up, and of course I picked up a couple of bottles of the Umbra to make up the order. I think it was like something like, I think I put a 60 odd quid order in to get free delivery in the end, because I had about 50 in there. So it's like, well, I just double up on a few and get a big box. And I think, I was going to say, I think this is the last one out of that order, but there is a Glühwein spiced beer that I didn't manage to get round to over Christmas, so that'll be fine. All of the beers were perfectly fine, if I remember. I didn't review that many of them. Certainly didn't video review them. I think mostly they're on they're over on the Instagram. And the few that I did, I kind of see what you're saying about the 10th best brewery, and I haven't even been to 3 or 4 of the better, or what are considered the better breweries in Manchester, depending on which way you go about deciding. I like Seven Brothers. I've had some good beers out there. Definitely 11th. Do you know what? With the 4 people looking at us, this stream, I think we could all write a list of the 10 best breweries in Manchester, and they would all probably be fairly different, because there's a couple of fairly small breweries in there. I'd probably even put Beer Nouveau in the top 10. I don't think they're even brewing anymore, because they brought out some interesting stuff that I never actually got around to checking. We're even bringing the disco jokes. Why did the police officer arrest the disco dancer? Because he was killing the dance floor. Like it. That's truly terrible. Like I say, we're all going to put 4 different breweries at number 1 if we all did that list. Well, there's space in the comments if anybody wants to type out of their top 10. I'd have to sit and think about it, because obviously I'm a little bit more removed from there. Maybe Holtzwell number 1 at some point, early 2000s, but probably like 5th or 6th now. Well, yeah, I mean, it depends what angle you're looking for, because I think Slurpee is very differently looking from the trad angle. Your best bitters, milds and bores, etc., rather than your hoppier craft ales. And there is undoubtedly a bunch of craft breweries in Manchester that really are killing it on the dance floor or the beer floor, as it were. Been a very defunct, yeah, but the bar opens now. Yeah, the bar was taken over by somebody else, but then less so. I've seen about, again, being busted off Twitter. I don't see Steve Abernuo's stuff that much anymore. He used to pop up on the YouTube about algorithm, but I just don't see their stuff that much anymore. Bramall, good evening, good evening, good evening. On the other Bramall does account. Appetite that you popped in because having done a couple of second now Manchester Brewery. Yeah, Shark, welcome along. Cheers to you, Karen. Thanks for popping in. It appears to be a mild show. Well, it's hopefully it's mildly good, or at least mildly okay. Mildly not bad. Cheers, thanks for popping in, buddy Biggs, and we'll see you right about on the internet, and you know where we are. I'm very Bramall. You'll know, I guess. Haven't seen much from Brightside. Adam Beers was just prophesying that they are the 11th best brewery in Manchester. Like I say, we could all have a different top 10 of best beers in Manchester. Unpopular opinion, I do not like Joseph Holt's new mild. I think it's not a patch on their last one. I once spent... Bear with me a second. That's a bit better. Yeah, I once spent a fantastic evening in a pub, in Holt's pub in Manchester, drinking Joseph Holt's beers that are okay. Again, I think there was a bit too much pale ales, IPAs, a bit too hoppy for me, but there was some other good stuff. Saw a tiny gig, like 20 people. It was one of only 2 times I've kind of stayed over in Manchester. I always only ever passed through Manchester. Yeah, place I've got to go back to at some point, and you could spend a week there and still not get to the top 10 best breweries in Manchester, probably. Actually, 3 times, because we ended up in Albert Schloss after going to Salford away. That's some more terrible jokes. Thank you, Luke. Keep up the good work. Went to a disco for the blind. I danced like no one was watching. Well, that is a tagline I often use, or used to use, down my pub where the disco name got bestowed upon me. I used to say, dance like no one's watching, and if they are watching, dance like you don't give a shit. It worked for me for 20 years. Shark, I drank all my ESB for Saturday. The Empire Strikes Back. That's what. Okay, yeah, I missed out on that bit. Going to Robinson's final level brewery tour tomorrow, Mrs. B. We got on the last tour, which is a bit of beer history. Not my favourite brews, but it's local and has a great history. Is that they're stopping the brewery tours? Surely not stopping the brewing. They're just stopping the tours. I guess. No, sorry, Shark. No light milds. Just a mild and 2, I guess, dark milds. I'm not even too sure about the third one. I'll come on to that in just a minute. I wonder, are you doing a bit of content with that, Rob? A little video maybe, if they'll allow you to. But yeah, definitely agree. Again, I wouldn't put Robinson's necessarily in that top 10, but definitely a great bit of history, etc. Well, this one's going down pretty quick, to be fair, and against, once again, some decent lacing even from a dimpled mug, I often think that dimpled mug don't always promote good lacing unless the beer is really good. But I think if there is a bit of lacing, so the beer must be pretty good, whether I'm liking it or not. I mean, I'm not liking this one. It's a good example of a mild. Not quite. Yeah, not quite enough. I think I will prefer the darker mild. It says dark mild, but it feels fairly light to me, especially at 4%. And Robinson's moving all the brewery into a new industrial building and leaving the historic building. Is that because I don't want to say it, flats. It's more money in property. So they're just getting a cheaper industrial warehouse. That's a shame. I can't remember the Robinson's brewery. I'm imagining it's that kind of old, big, cavernous kind of brick built kind of building with some good architectural merit. So hopefully they don't simply demolish it. Early night, Luke. Fair play, sir. No problem. It's not compulsory. 4 videos to record and hopefully get edited. Well, yeah, I was meant to record a couple of videos today and then just ran out of time and lighting conditions. But yeah, I know what it is. No problem, sir. Thank you very much indeed, Luke, for popping in and for those terrible jokes. Have a good weekend and see you next time, sir. In the meantime, the rest of us, I'm going to finish this one off pretty quickly and get on to the third and final beer. They've gone down pretty quickly today, to be fair. Even yesterday when I kind of enjoyed the beers because they were lighter and a little bit hoppier, I struggled to get through them, but they took a little bit longer. Maybe it's just the fact that I like the darker beers. I'm taking bigger slurps, easier to get through. I'm still trying to think. In the background, my head is going like a different way. I'm trying to talk to you, and also I'm trying to think all those other breweries that would be on my top 10 beers of Manchester list. It would be difficult for me because I don't drink Cloudwater beers. I've never had a beer from Track, and as I said, have some quite good from Seven Brothers. So I would actually put them in the top 10 just purely because of the amount of beers I've had from them. So Manchester's a difficult one for me, but I keep trying to think. Miles are very sessionable. Yeah. I forget, like at that show at the start of the month. That show too, where I had those 5 Boxcar milds that went. Well, they ranged from the no alcohol one, the Mash Game collab. Even I found that was very sessionable and drinkable because there was plenty of taste and flavour in it from whatever Mash Gang do with their non-alcohol beers. So I think I preferred the darker ones. The 9% wasn't quite so sessionable, but I got through it and enjoyed it probably more than the others. JW Lee's my third family-owned brewery in Greater Manchester. Followed by Holt's, Hyde's and Robinson's. Hyde's I know very little about. Definitely heard of. Had 1 or 2 Holt's. See, that's it. You can probably split the list in 2. Like your traditional kind of, like I say, probably family-owned breweries and your more recent craft breweries. They're still independent family-owned businesses, or at least individual-owned businesses, I suppose. No, that would not even fit in my top 100 because we don't do beer mongrel around here. Yeah, that's the thing with them. Would you class them as a Manchester brewery if they brew stuff at their place in Manchester? Somebody was talking. Yeah, Adam earlier was talking about whether Brightside would be in the top 10 of Manchester breweries. He said they weren't. Obviously, Marble definitely would be for fair play. I don't know. Just for amusement, I would have to think about it longer than the length of the live stream and probably do a little bit of research. Even though I've had plenty of beers from Manchester. Runway. Is it Runway or Runaway? Runway. Shindiger, yeah, there we go. That's a good list. That's off the top of your head. Sure Shot. They're Manchester as well. Yeah, I've only had the one Sure Shot beer. Sure Shot Track. Runaway. It is Runaway. I always call it Runway. Marble. Balance. Don't know that one. Cloudwater. Shindigger. Manchester Union. Yeah, and Seven Brothers. You put Seven Brothers in there. Fair play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, Manchester Union. I know very little about, and I imagine. How many beers do they have? Because that's the lager brewery, an exclusively lager, and I only know Manchester Union lager. But do they have other beers as well? I'll tell you another one's not bad. Is I've forgotten the name as soon as I've said that. Actually, Disco, some beers from from Beer Mongrel. Yeah, I'm sure they are, but I just can't be asked for Beer Mongrel. And thing about Beer Mongrel is, I like the darker beers, the stouts, and traditionally Beer Mongrel stouts are rather good. I have actually got a stash. However, I didn't pay for them. I was given them recently, and kind of reluctantly accepted them because they were like big 9% Imperial stats. So I probably won't put them on the channel, or just one evening have a little look. So yeah, they don't get in the top 10. They never had anything from Track. I keep meaning to. Early days lockdown, Shindigger were one that was on top of the list. I was going to get some stuff from because they had a good range and a lot of good stuff, and I've yet to actually go to them and get a box out of them, and probably won't. Disco beer, I just won't get the time or space. However, I'm going to, if I can find the stream. Where's it gone? Yeah, you see, that's the thing. It's also Manchester. Where's Manchester? You've got Greater Manchester, the centre, and then all the stuff kind of on the periphery, on the suburbs. Red Willow, Torside, yeah. Buxton's not Manchester. It's Buxton, Derbyshire. I mean, it is close enough to Manchester. You get trained there, but Dunham, is it Dunham Massey? And Winkle, I know you've got boxes from Winkle. I've seen those reviews, and I still forget about them. Torside. If you put it in Manchester, I guess it's a Manchester postcode. It is, isn't it? I wouldn't even put Buxton in there because I very rarely get anything out of Buxton. Oh dear. Very average from Shindigger. One I wanted to get off there was a Mango Pale Ale. Because I kind of like Mango Pale Ales. That's weird with the hoppiness. There's a little bit more hop content than I was expecting from both of those. Very latterly on the bright side. Umbria, dark, mild. I don't actually think it was much darker than the Marvel mild, to be fair. Trying to get that hop content off of my palate before I go for the last one. See what I can find. Burton Road. Fair play. One sec. It's what I love about this stream. Everybody's far more knowledgeable than me. Popping on, giving much great recommendations for other breweries that I've just not heard. Burton Road. And also reminders about breweries I forget about, like Shindigger. Right, how we do for time? I actually started the stream on time for once, so we're going to go over the hour once again. Right, this little number, third and final beer for Disco Goes Mild stream is this one from a brewery. Now, let me know if you've heard of this brewery, everybody up to north, because this is a brewery local to me, to be fair, even though it's the next county over, up in Hertfordshire. It's called Paradigm Brewery, and talking about breweries that we lost, losing first class, I've still got a beer from theirs, cherry sour theirs, having got them in early last year. Again, they had some good range, some good stuff going on, and the beers I had from them kind of enjoyed. Well done, that man. Well done, sir. Thank you very much indeed. And beer number 3, please. Is this one? Brewery called Paradigm, out of a little village called Sarrett, just to the north of Watford, near Kings Langley. It is their Black Friday, 6%. So we're going up. Nothing about the bottle, and I'm going to have another look. When I looked earlier, it says dark mild, but online, Untapped, it says it's a dark mild. So let's get it out to the glass and have a wee look. Yeah, so anybody heard of Paradigm? So probably don't get out of Hertfordshire very much. Pick this one up, as I say, as yesterday, I picked this one up on Friday. When I went to see Paul, I put some Creative Juices in Rickmansworth. Sarah is probably just the other side of the M25, practically from Rickmansworth, Watford area. And again, pours into the glass. Nice and dark, using the Marlow Rebellion glass, because it's the next nearest brewery, to be fair, over in Berkshire. Now, yeah, I'm not surprised, Dave Wilson, to be fair. I thought you might have done being down south. However, the bad news I found out today when having a look around, this is actually the last beer out of Paradigm. I either missed or forgot about the announcement in November of last year that they too were sadly giving the game up. Again, Hertfordshire is not exactly blessed with a proliferation of breweries and beers and pubs that will take the sort of beer that Paradigm are brewing, or were brewing. And as I note, it does look really good in the glass, nice and dark. Big, thick, creamy head as well. Gonna go and balance over here off camera. It's got a bit darker, so I'm going to have to balance for this one. I always find it really difficult photographing dark miles and trying not to get too much of my own reflection in the glass. Helps when you have a logo on the front of it like that, Marlow Rebellion. Yeah, just about in focus. As good as this is in the light, this phone struggles a little bit in the darkness. But yeah, that's all right. Now, Luke. Right. But yeah, Paradigm Brewery. I'm sorry, in Hertfordshire. Looking pretty dark in the glass. Can't see too much in the way of light getting through there. Nice bubbly head in the pint glass. Wrong one. Fuck. No, I got all of that out. That's lovely. Yeah, so alas. Yeah, looking pretty good. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, so alas, this will be the last one. And not only that, just about to go out of date. Nominal, no, especially on a darker beer like this. Picked this bottle up for £2 from Paul. Had a dozen or so left in the fridge. So great thing about Creative Juices, does a lot of guest ales promoting other local businesses, in particular nearby breweries in the Hertfordshire area. So let's have a quick sniff. I say my slightly blocked up nose is struggling, but all three have smelt pretty much the same on the aroma. Anyway, cheers. Here's to milds. Oh, yeah. Again, there's that hop note that I'm finding strange. Really am. Really was not expecting so much. I mean, to be fair, it's mild hop note. It's definitely there on the air and on the side of grapefruit. Let's see what hops we can get. Brewed traditionally using the finest hops and malted barley. A lifelong passion for proper beer, handcrafted real ales from the beautiful Sarrett village in Hertfordshire. Smooth and smoky beer. Come back to that. Brewed with 5 dark malts. Voted best beer of the Watford Beer Festival, record 4 times. I've been to Watford Beer Festival at least 4 times. I must have had this beer at some point. It's the sort of beer that I would look out for at a beer festival. Beers are natural, no chemicals, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't say the hops. Again, a bit annoying. I'd just like to know, to be fair, see where that hop character comes from. But, oh, did you know what's coming through now? A little bit licorice, which is kind of odd. There's a slightly different water profile almost. A little bit of salinity, which is where I get licorice from. Darker malts are coming through more in the aroma. It's, again, slightly stronger. So it's got a slightly more robust profile to it. Still a very easily drinkable beer, I think. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but it's got that smooth core. Slightly more on the chocolate malt, I think. But heading towards licorice. I don't like licorice, but I've had a couple of beers where I've got that licorice kind of note recently, and I'm fine with it in a beer. A bit like yesterday's cold brew coffee. I don't like cold coffee, but except in a beer. Still really smooth and drinkable. Yeah, still a certain hop bitterness to it, but much lesser than the other two. Really nice, smooth, easy drinking beer. Locally, and I don't know the reasons for them giving up. I say I didn't see anything off the socials, and I will have followed them because I will have had a beer from them back in the day. So it's a lovely little village. It's one of those where you've got the main road goes through the middle, and a big village green, and a pub called the Cricketers because it's where they would have played cricket on the village green, and 2 other pubs that are kind of gastro pubs now, but some really good food in there and some really decent real ales. I would imagine predominantly Paradigm. I've definitely had a couple of Paradigm pints in Sarah with a meal, and yeah, so it's sad to see them gone. It's sad that I missed it as well. I forgot to go back for this one. I forgot to mention Bramwell's Backroom Brewery. Is that a top 10 brewery in Manchester? Of course it is. Can we include home breweries in Manchester? And I tell you what, if Bramwell ever goes semi-pro, as the football illusion would be, amateur brewer to semi-pro, I think there's a ready-made market for it. You've gone right. Okay, so I've got the Manchester top 10. Bramwell Torside is in Derbyshire. Yeah, 100% doesn't count. Shame, because it is kind of Manchester periphery, so it kind of almost does. And the same with Buxton, I think. It is a Manchester brewery, but also isn't, because it's just onto the Peak District. But, yeah, we can argue ad infinitum. I think we're a bit luckier in London. We can say what a London brewery is because it's kind of inside the M25. But having said that, Creative Juices up at Rickmansworth probably aren't a London brewery because they're just inside the M25. So they kind of are, but they're Hertfordshire. You can argue geography all day, I think. You can argue geography all day. But here's Mersey's top 10, I think. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Pomona Island. Didn't even say that. And I have had a couple of their beers. Not entirely my thing, but yeah, again, because they were disco beers, that's why I got them. But let's have a look here. Track, Cloudwater, Shore Shot, Pomona Island, Marble, Balance. Haven't heard of them. Joseph Holtz, Fair Play for them. GW Lees, Blackjack. Oh, of course, Blackjack. I forget they're Manchester. I love their branding. Very simple cans, and I love the colours. That's another one, like Shindiger, meant to have gone there, or at least got some beers from there. I had an idea for some content because their beers were like green. There was a green and white can that looked very much like an Argyle kit, and I was going to do like a rundown of like beers as Argyle kits again 4 years ago when everybody had much more time for that sort of thing, and I never quite got it off the ground. But yeah, Blackjack definitely. They always do well in the like World Cup of breweries kind of thing. They've got a good little cult kind of following that goes on Twitter and social media and votes for them quite a lot. So that's good. Juggernaut Brew Co. Another one. Brilliant. As I say, I love this. Always pick up new breweries. So to be fair, that's a good list. And like I say, different to Bramwell's and probably different to mine. Yeah, I'd forget about that's the thing. I'll forget about so many and not put them in. Pomona Island Blackjack, great shouts. I drink them a lot. We are spoilt for choice. Yeah, so spoilt for choice. We forget the breweries. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'd struggle to do a London top 10, to be fair. And Manchester, because there's so many breweries there, really. Haven't had any Green Arches or Big Love, so they could be in the top 10. What's that one? Is it Chop? First Chop. Had a couple of their beers, and I thought they were perfectly decent, but I'd always probably forget about them too. Yeah, I think we could be here all day. So about that. Don't ask me to do a top 10 where I live. It's impossible. Well, I do a Manchester top 10 just based on what you've heard. First Shop, another which I've forgotten. Yeah. First Shop are gone. Really? Same with Wander Beyond. Really? Contract Beer in Belgium. I didn't know you both of those had gone. That's a bit of a surprise. As I say, Paradigm not being around anymore. And yeah, it does feel like there's breweries opening up every month. I see another brewery giving it a go, and all the best of them, and all the best of the breweries have gone. I wonder what happens to like breweries, like First Shop. I guess it's an owner, or is it the owner that's brewing as well, or do they have a head brewer? It's like a managerial merry-go-round, like in football, when he's sort of going work at another brewery, or do they go and start another brewery? Interesting to find out. Yeah, Alphabet have gone, but I thought Alphabet came back as ABC Brewing. Is that Big Trip is another? This is impossible. Well, if they actually brought any beers out, I could put Weird Beard in there, because I believe they were talking about brewing somewhere outside of Bury, and I think they've moved again. I see ABC are in Cornwall. Okay, so not Manchester Brewing, but at least they're kind of still going and doing something. Fair play. That's a good point for you, Manchester area and up north folk. If you ever hear anything from Weird Beard, do let me know. Used to be around here, sold up, and we moved lock stock up there, and haven't really done a lot since. See, I would cheat with this top 10 of Manchester beers and just put several of them at joint. So we like joint ninth, and I know a lot of people say that means you don't have eighth, but I'd have joint ninth, joint eighth, joint seventh, joint sixth. Just make it easy. No, come on, Bury's great in Manchester, isn't it? It's on the tram network. Otherwise, we'd be counting some Bolton brew. Well, Bolton's Manchester. Maybe not Greater Manchester, but like Bramwell says, are we counting Greater Manchester? Or are we talking about the Greater Manchester area? Blunderbuss definitely in a Manchester. Do some great brew. Yeah, you don't always think of Blunderbuss as a brewery, even though they're brewing their own beers, but they're more of a restaurant. But yeah, we're talking about Greater Manchester or in the Manchester area. Tough call. I'm not even sure. I did hear that Weirdbeard aren't even in Bury anymore. They were on a farm just outside of Bury in the middle of nowhere. And a local contact told me, in fact, hopefully I see her on Saturday, I'll ask her again. She said that they've moved from Bury somewhere even further out, possibly over towards Yorkshire way. Not sure. Not heard anything, seen any beers at them, not put anything up on the socials, so we shall see. Yeah. Blunderbuss are a funny one. I don't know how much it has actually brewed at the facility. I always found the better beers are the ones they contract brew at Northern Monk. Has Northern Monk got any space to be contract brewing anything because you've been chucking so much stuff out? But I guess they've expanded accordingly for that. Oh yeah, you're going to Birmingham next week, so Blunderbuss have got a place there as well. We could discount Marble Seven Brothers as they are. So yeah, don't say that argument. What's the difference between City of Salford and City of Manchester? Or Greater Manchester. It's like arguing the difference between Westminster and the City of London. It's all London, but they're two separate, distinct areas. It's all irrelevant anyway. Let's just have some good beer. It doesn't matter where it's brewed or what geographically that you call it. Sorry, I've done this thing again where my nose has got blocked up. Yeah, let's just enjoy good beer. Doesn't matter where it comes from. I enjoyed this one. This one I think is the best of the bunch. Sorry, Manchester folk. The Manchester beers are good, but this Southern attempt at a darker mild because it's stronger. It's a bit more rounded, a bit more balanced. This one's the winner of the night. Obviously, I had a winner last night. It's not really a contest, but that's a good point, Dave Wilson. Because is Stockport Manchester? Yes, it is, but also no, it isn't. That's a great. Just slip that one in there. A little bit of geography. There. Here we go. Split boat. I do love, and I've got a video talking about this. I do love a bit of geography with my beer knowledge. Yeah, you can add infinitum over geography and beer. Getting a bit more chocolate as it goes through, but also a bit more bitterness. I don't know if that's residue hop bitterness from the previous two, or if it's just sort of developing a little bit. Yeah, I would always say Salford is in Manchester, but certain people from Salford probably would say they're Salford, not Manchester. In the same way that people from Buxton might say they're from Derbyshire. It's all a crazy world where we get divided by postcodes and divided by areas, but united by beer. God, I'm getting deep, man. How am I getting? I didn't know what I was going to say at the start of this, and now I find myself getting really, really deep. Yeah, enjoy the beers, man. That's what I always say, innit? Cheers and enjoy the beers. And on which note, because I've nearly finished that one, I'm going to bid you all farewell. Thank you, as ever, for popping in, for entertaining me for an hour, as much as hopefully I've entertained you with three actually really good beers. Interesting ones, lots of things to find, lots of surprises, lots of shocks. Not so much shocks, but yeah, definitely surprises. You guys have been brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, especially if you're watching this after the event on the replay tomorrow or whenever. And if you are, because I know all the guys who've been commenting are already subscribed and probably do all the likey thing. And if you're not, and if you're watching else, do the like, do the subscribe, and go and watch some of my other videos. There'll be another one coming up in the box after the event if you watch the outro. Bramble, Dave Wilson, Shark, Mersey Beers, Luke from before. etc. And everybody, thank you very much indeed, you beautiful, beautiful beery people. Happy damn Thursday. Have a good weekend. And if I don't see you over the weekend, we will see you next week at some point or somewhere around on the internet of things. Meantime, enjoy the show outro. Thank you very much indeed. I'm in Disco, Rasco, and Disco Beer Review. Cheers and enjoy the beers.